It's been over 2 years since the Xbox Series S was released with its new compact form factor. At half the price of its big brother, the Series X, and pretty much the only next-gen console in stock, it's a very intriguing buy. But is this truly a next-generation console, or should you level up and buy the Xbox Series X? Hi guys, my name is Manny Rataul. In today's video, we'll be looking at an in-depth review of the Xbox Series S and determining if it's still worth purchasing in 2023. We'll be going in-depth on the features and media capabilities of the Series S, as well as the gameplay functions. We'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages, and some special considerations and capabilities of the Series S that might push you into purchasing this console, but more on that later on the video. And if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button for weekly tech and product related reviews. I put content out on a weekly basis, so make sure you hit that notification bell to stay in touch with all the new content that's released. And of course, all product links will be in the description below. This unit itself was actually purchased from Best Buy for $249 USD, but it can also be found on Amazon as well as other retailer sites. First, we'll start off with the contents of what the Xbox Series S comes with. I actually made an entire video. You can actually find the unboxing right here. But to simplify everything, it comes with the actual console itself, one controller, an HDMI cable, and a power cord. And depending on what kind of bundle you get, you may or may not get a digital code for a video game purchase. Now moving into the console itself, and as you can see, it is a very compact and sleek device. It is significantly smaller than the PS5 and the Series X, and it's no shortage for ports. You have a USB 3.0 port at the front. You can use this for storage as well as connecting your controller with a wire. As well, on the back, you have an Ethernet port. You have two more USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI port that supports up to 4K, as well as a dedicated storage expansion slot, which is made specifically for the Xbox Series S and X. And these are the Seagate SSDs. Now, these are the only recommended SSDs that Microsoft will allow you to store and download next-gen games. You can use third-party external SSDs and USB sticks, but only Xbox 360 and the original Xbox games will work on that, so be mindful of that. Now, some important specifications for the Xbox Series S is that it has 512 gigabytes of internal storage, but only 384 gigabytes of that is usable, so be mindful of that. That remainder, 100 and whatever odd gigabytes, is used for the OS and cannot be deleted. So if you want a lot of internal storage, you might have to either level up immediately to the Xbox Series X that comes with a terabyte, or purchase that external storage. Another interesting point is that this does not have any disk trays, meaning it's digital only. So if you are someone who likes physical media, it's easy to share and to store indefinitely. Unfortunately, you can't do that with the Series S. So keep all these things in mind when you are looking to purchase a next-gen console. Now, talking about the cooling of the Series S, it actually has quite a large fan with two intake ports on the side. It's very silent and the cooling is actually quite good. The Xbox Series S has not overheated once and it's very silent. If you're coming from a PlayStation and older consoles like the PS4, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes the PS4 would sound like it's about to go into orbit as how loud the fans get. Series S, simply not the case. Now moving on to the controller itself, if you've come from the original Xbox and even Xbox 360 days, you'll notice that there's not much change. The great thing about the Xbox Series S and X is that the texture is a little bit more rugged. So it has more of a rough feel, but it's great if you've been gaming for a long time. You don't have to worry about sweat in your hands slipping off. Other than that, all the standard buttons have not really changed, and bumpers are pretty much identical to last generation. Now, the controller is powered by AA batteries. You do get a set of batteries in the box. However, they're not rechargeable, and you do not get a rechargeable pack. That can be purchased externally and through the Xbox Store, or online through Amazon. Another great thing about the Xbox Series S controller is that it has a USB-C port here. So you can actually connect this with your Xbox with a cable. You actually don't have to worry about using batteries altogether. And at the bottom here, you have a port to connect your headphones. Headphones are connected with the controller and wirelessly transmitted to the Xbox. Now moving on to some of the gaming capabilities of the Series S, it comes with 10 gigabytes of RAM and 4 teraflops of processing power, whereas the Xbox Series X has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 12 teraflops of processing power. Now, without that being said, that probably means nothing to you. The biggest difference that you need to know is that the Series S does not support true 4K gaming. The maximum resolution you can get with the Series S is 1440p, but most of the time with the AAA titles, you're going to be restricted to 1080p gaming. The only way to get 4K gaming is going all the way up to the Xbox Series X. Now, that being said, you can get up to 120 FPS with the Series S, but most of the time with the AAA games, you're going to get between 30 and 60 FPS. Now, The caveat to all this is if you're coming from an older generation console and you don't have a 4K TV, you don't have to worry about it. And the even better thing is the Series S and Series X both support the same games. So there are no exclusive titles made for either console, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, I am a PC gamer at heart, so I actually have my Xbox connected to my monitor, and my monitor is only 1080p, so I actually don't mind the restrictions, as I really don't know what the differences are between 1080p and 4K. Now, an amazing feature that's included in the Series S and also in the Series X is Quick Resume. Quick Resume allows you to pick up a game exactly where you left it, not at a save point, exactly where you left it when you last turned off your console. So you can go right into a boss battle or right into that exact moment you left the game, and it usually loads in under 8 seconds. So it's one of those things that we used to wish as children back in the PS1 and PS2 games where you can just start the game off exactly where you left it. That is now a reality with the Series S and X, and with their internal storage and external SSD storage with Seagate being so fast, it allows you to do that. I use that feature all the time, and you actually use that feature with up to 3 games running simultaneously. So I can go between FIFA to Yakuza and back to FIFA all within like 8 seconds, and it's honestly so great. Now, gameplay wise, I really haven't had any issues with any title I've played with the Xbox Series S. I played the newest FIFA games, some of the newest AAA titles like Yakuza, as well as some of the titles like Harry Potter, and I've gotten around 30 to 60 FPS depending on what setting you play it on. There hasn't ever been an issue where I've run into problems with extremely low frame rates or where the game has frozen in on me. So some people may have this misconception that because this is a downgrade from the Xbox Series X, you'll run into these performance issues. That's simply not the case with the Series S. Now, in terms of the gameplay library, we're at a point in the cusp of next generation consoles where we've passed the initial phase. We're almost 2 years, more than 2 years into this generation of gaming. So there is a pretty comprehensive list of titles already available for both the Series X, the Series S, and the PS5. Now, I do want to touch on Game Pass. Game Pass is an online subscription feature that you can sign up for about $15 USD, and it allows you access to a number of new titles and some of the older generation titles from the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, and the original Xbox games. Now, this is such a comprehensive game library that you can probably never have the time to play every single game, and you can theoretically just pay for Game Pass and have an amazing experience. I've pretty much only used Game Pass up until this point. I've owned the Xbox Series S for about 2.5 months, and I've been loving it ever since. So if you do want a game on a next-gen console at a budget, Game Pass is an excellent alternative, and it might be the solution made for you. And not just limited to the gaming library, Game Pass also gives you online features such as multiplayer, as well as some sneak peeks at releases that other members might not be able to get. So seriously consider Game Pass when purchasing the Series S or making a decision between the Series X models of the Xbox. Now, shifting away from the gaming capabilities, I really want to touch on the media capabilities. So remember when I said that gaming is restricted to 1440p? Well, in terms of media like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and pretty much any streaming, you actually get 4K. So if you have a 4K TV and you want to use the Xbox Series S as a media platform device, you won't have any issues in that regard. I can run pretty much any movie, any show up in 4K as long as you have the subscription for that model on the Xbox Series S. You have Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Netflix, YouTube, just to name a few. And speaking of media capabilities, the Microsoft Edge Internet Explorer on the Xbox Series S and X are actually very good. Typically, Explorers on gaming consoles are not the best, but this is actually pretty seamless, and I've used it quite often to do search engine results, as well as just streaming videos off of YouTube on that without using the app. And remember at the beginning, I mentioned a special consideration you might want to make when purchasing the Xbox Series S, and that consideration is emulation. So you can actually emulate older consoles, not just the Xbox. That includes GameCube, PlayStation 2, the PS Vita, all those on the Xbox Series S, and Microsoft allows you to do that. You don't have to jailbreak or mod your Xbox to do that. It's a very simple plug and play platform. And a lot of YouTubers have actually made content around this, and I'm actually going to be making a video specifically for emulation. So if you want to play retro games and older generation games, and that's the only reason you want to buy a console, the Xbox Series S is actually a pretty good buy just for that alone. Now on to the main question, is this worth purchasing in 2023 or in general? And the answer is it depends. If you already have a next-gen console like the Series X or the PS5, you really don't need to purchase the Series S, as you already have a lot of the next gen capabilities and the performance advantages over the Series S. However, if you want to get into next gen gaming and on a budget, this is a very good console to do that. You get a lot of value with this console, with retro gaming, with old gaming, with previous consoles on the Xbox, as well as new AAA titles. I purchased this because I game primarily on the PC, and I've always wanted to dabble in on the Microsoft exclusive titles. So the Xbox Series S was a no-brainer for me. It's a great console. Like I said, every game that's available for the Series X is also available for the Series S. So if you are looking to purchase a next generation console and you're on a budget, I highly recommend the Series S. It's a phenomenal device. Now, I purchased my Xbox Series S for $249 USD, but on certain occasions and sales, you can actually get it cheaper than that. I purchased mine from Best Buy, but there's also a link in the description to purchase it from Amazon if you'd like to do that. And that is it for the video review, guys. I hope you found it interesting. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you purchased the Xbox Series S or you're going to be purchasing it, and let me know what game you'll be playing on it first. But until next time, peace.